Hello everybody, and welcome to Judge Mathas, and today on trial stands Gods Will Be Watching. This game is actually not officially available on Steam until July 24th, but thanks to the developers, I've gotten myself a little bit of an early preview copy with a couple of caveats. Basically, I'm not allowed to show you anything past the first 4 chapters, but because of the way this game works, I'm actually only going to show you Chapter 1 for many, many different reasons. But first, what is Gods Will Be Watching? Well, it's a minimalistic, as they describe it, a minimalistic point-and-click adventure with a tense story and dramatic outcomes to your choices. And for the most part, that's actually very true. It is a point-and-click adventure where there are, as far as I understand, 6 chapters, or 6 scenarios in which you must manage and survive the scenario presented to you. And each one is incredibly difficult and can go a variable different ways depending on how you decide to handle the situation. But really, when I say it's hard, I goddamn mean it. It took me an hour and a half to beat Chapter 1 because of how hard it is. Now, there is an easy mode, but I highly suggest for the full effectiveness of the game to play on normal mode. There's no hard mode, it's just easy and normal is the way the game is meant to be played. This game was also put through Indiegogo, and they were able to exceed their initial $8,000 goal, and they received something like $30,000 or something. And what we have here is what I find not only one of the most anticipated point-and-click kind of adventure games that we've seen in a while, but one of the more anticipated indie games in general that I've been looking on for quite a while, and I've been loving it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to dive into the very first level, and that's the only level we're going to play for the sake of come on, chapter selection, for the sake of just not ruining anything. This is a game that is telling a very interesting and cool story that I do not want to spoil past the first chapter. And I might not even be able to beat it again. So this is the first one, basically, right here. Self-justified sacrifices. Let's go ahead. Now, in each chapter, you have control over one particular character. Right now, we can go to original difficulty or easy. We're going to go ahead and do original. And we'll go ahead and do it in save slot number 1 as opposed to 0. And we're going to go ahead and let the story play out here. So, you chose the wrong nation to mess with. We got company. The hacking system is ready. Liam, the hostages are secured. Please don't hurt my crew. We don't have any access codes. Good work, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention for a minute? This is a Xenolifer Act. You are being held as our guests while we get the info we need from your outstanding research on the Medusa virus. Seriously, good job on analyzing that little bitch. The revolution will greatly benefit from your contribution to the scientific community. Now, let my guys do their work and nothing will happen to you. Jack, don't let those damn guards get near us. I got him, boss. Shaman, keep the network stable while I hack into their database. Also, I'm looking forward to the power of your new improved hack boost tool. They won't see me coming. And you, Abraham, you are in charge while I'm plugged into this thing. Sorry, for some reason, this is actually a minor complaint of mine. The text for me, and it might be the same for you because of the way it's actually presented, and the font they use, it's actually really hard for me to read, and it takes me a little while to kind of understand what they're saying. I don't particularly enjoy the text. Take care of the hostages. Don't let them get too comfortable that they don't try to overcome you. Neither too panicked that they want to try to suicide escape. I'm counting on you to lead the team in their tasks. Aid Jack on his negotiation and lend a hand to Shaman checking the net status. Basically, keep the situation under control. Basically, what he's saying is that I'm controlling Abraham. That's my job. Don't hesitate to ask me anything. That won't take much time. Xenolifer, let's do this. He plugs himself in. All right, and we start. So, the goal here in this particular scenario is to manage our survivors so that they don't try to run away. To get the hacking progress, have 2 bars filled up, and to ensure that the army that's off to the right-hand side doesn't come close enough to basically take us down and save the hostages, while managing Shaman, who has something called a hack boost, which can help boost and speed up the hacking process. It's all turn-based. Obviously, it's a point-and-click, and because it's turn-based, you're not panicking like I originally thought it wasn't, but which was silly of me, but it's turn-based, so you're not panicking or freaking out and stressing out too much. So the goal here is to manage a bunch of different things without having certain things happen. And this kind of remains true from level to level. You're managing multiple different aspects. Now, it's not going to be the same puzzle every single time, and that's really what this game is a giant puzzle. Each level presents itself as a situation, but you're really kind of micromanaging and meticulously choosing what to do and what not to do during each turn in hopes that it's not going to fuck everything up. Now, certain actions will progress the turn, others will not. For instance, if I go to Shaman, anything with a red outline will be something that takes an entire turn. Anything with a green outline means it won't take the turn. So for instance, I can click hack camera, and I can get the break room, which is off to the left-hand side, or I can hit the corridor. Now, the break room is actually something I can send these hostages to if they start really freaking out and kind of get them away from the crew. Because if one hostage starts to freak out big time, it actually has an effect on the other hostages, and they'll start freaking out a lot easier. But because we don't intend to send anybody to the break room yet, we'll go and have it hack the corridor camera. Now up here, we'll have a nice view as to the corridor and the army, and we know how close the army is. Basically, every single turn I take, the army will take a step closer. There are things I can do to mitigate that. For instance, I can have Jack shoot at them, which will set them back 3 paces. Or I can have Jack negotiate with them, which he basically says, come any closer and we'll shoot a hostage. And they say, okay, we won't take another step. And that will stop them from moving for 3 turns. At the same time, every time a turn progresses, the security starts to drop. So we need to make sure that Shaman not only is charging the hack boost, which is right here, the boost rate success, but he's also reinforcing security. If the security drops further and further, eventually it will have a chance to break. And when security breaks, I have to take an entire turn to reestablish security. Otherwise, morale starts to drop, our hacking progress starts to go backwards, and the army starts to move forward. You see what I'm saying? How this is a incredibly difficult and turn-based puzzle game. So let's start to play a little bit here, and let's start charging up the hack boost just a bit. So we charged up the hack boost. Security dropped a little bit. He's basically saying, look, don't initiate the hack boost until the success rate is somewhere we are safe with. The hostages all seem relatively okay for now, so we'll go ahead and charge the hack boost again. Still security at 70%. We'll do it one more time. Security is at 61%. So this turn, I think what we're going to want to do is reinforce the security. And now the army's starting to move. So they took a step forward because they had their 3 turns of not doing anything. And we want to make sure we keep negotiating with them and make them realize to not move. All right, so as you can see, these hostages, 2 of them are starting to get a little bit worried. The further down they get in the worried state where they start freaking out and panicking and they'll actually say we need to run, the worse off it is, because eventually they will attempt to get up and one of the hostages will run, which then you'll have a choice of shooting them dead or letting them go, each having their own effects. If we let them go, the hostages won't freak out as much, but the army will still stay where they are. Or we can shoot the hostage, which will put the army back 3 paces, but also make the hostages panic even more. We can talk to them if they're panicking. We can actually calm them down with a chat. Now, this guy in brown is the leader. Anything I do to him will have an even greater effect on the rest of the other hostages. So let's go ahead and chat and calm him down a little bit. And as you can see, he calmed down, this guy calmed down, but this girl put her leg out. Basically, she's getting really relaxed. The next stage is a second leg out, and then she'll get ready to basically kind of try and pull a mutiny on you. But we should be fine for now. So let's go ahead. Oh, let's keep this guy going. Charge the hack boost. We'll charge the hack boost one more time. And then what we'll do is negotiate, because that should be the 3 turns. And as you can see, security's freaking out here, so we need to go ahead and reinforce security, which takes an entire turn. When you do that, people start to get relaxed. So how are we going to freaking deal with them? Well, they're getting really relaxed. You can shout at them, which will help, or we can kick them if we want, which will do a bit more to kind of keep them under guard. Or we can shoot them. We can straight up murder them. These guys in blue are worth a lot less than the guy in brown, so sacrificing these guys not a big deal. We could straight up shoot them in the face, or we could shoot them in the leg, which will not kill them, but freak him out and everybody else out around them. They will then bleed for a certain amount of turns. I have 2 med kits at my disposal right now in this med area, and if I want to, after a few turns of them bleeding, I can heal them. If I don't heal them, they'll just eventually bleed out and die. But let's just go ahead and walk over and kick them. I don't want them freaking out too much. So he's back to normal. She's way too relaxed, so we're going to go ahead and shout at her. So he needs to run. So we're going to go ahead and send him off to the break room now. And we're going to go ahead and kick her. And now he's going to try and run. So for the sake of it, I'm actually going to go ahead and kill him. We're going to shoot him dead. As you see, the army gets moved back. We lose a hostage, but she's no longer relaxed. He's freaking out. And if we take a look at the camera room, by the way, the break room, he's in there kind of rocking back and forth. So let's actually pull him out of there. The longer we leave him in there, the more calm he's going to get. The problem is, if we leave him there too long, he will plot our demise and try to attack us. So let's go ahead and get him back. Deal with him later. We'll let him go. Let's move him out. So we still have 2 hostages. We have the important hostage and the least important hostage. And things, just because of the way I've been doing things, things are not going well right now. This is actually really not ideal. Let's go ahead and hack the camera back to the corridor. I mean, we've already had to kill 1 hostage and free another. The security's really effing low. She's way too relaxed, but he's all right. And the hacking progress is barely anywhere. It's kind of a problem. So let's reinforce security. Let's negotiate to make sure they don't move. And let's go work on that hack boost. We're at 69%. Let's go 1 more, and I think we can execute the hack boost. Don't think about it, lady. We'll go ahead and kick her. Keep her focused. We need to calm him down. Alright, so what I'm going to have to do here, reinforce security. She's being a problem. I'm going to shoot her in the leg. Let's not worry about her trying to go anywhere. Don't even think about it. Let's negotiate to keep these guys from moving. And this guy needs to calm the F down. We'll do 2 turns of calming him down, putting him back normally. And then we'll execute the hack boost. At 81%, it's a decent chance. So he's basically saying we're going to do it. We're going to stabilize the neural paths. Because he's like plugged in. He's hacking through his brain. And it worked. So we're back down to 5%. And the hack boost went up. I'm going to have him attacked and set them back 3 turns. And she's starting to bleed out. He needs to calm down, though. She's starting to actually be a little bit too calm, which means she's starting to bleed out quite a bit. Let's reinforce our security. Let's heal her. We need her still. We could actually end up... One of the things we can end up doing is actually trading her for things. Like, if we want to trade her off, we could send them off to the security guys. And what they'll do is we can demand certain things. Like, we can demand stability within the security. We can demand extra healing kits if we need them. We can demand they go all the way to the back if we want. But for now, we're going to negotiate and try to keep them where they are. These guys are pretty calm. Alright, let's reinforce security. Now, every turn we're going, the hacking is progressing ever so slightly. One of the things I really love, by the way, and this is kind of off topic a little bit as we do this, is the aesthetic. This was actually I think this was for like a 24 or 48 hour game jam eventually, or maybe like a 1 week game jam, and they came out with like a little demo of the game, and people loved it. It takes that idea of pixel art and really does something with it. The game doesn't look retro, right? It looks like a pixel art game. It doesn't look like it belongs on an SNES or NES. It actually looks artistically like it belongs on a PC. It just takes that idea of basic art concept and kind of elevates to it a higher level with bright colors and pretty decent animations. I really like it a lot. So let's charge the hack boost. She's getting a little calm, so let's go ahead and kick her. She's getting too calm for her own good. This dude needs to calm the F down. I'm actually going to shoot him in the leg. Make sure he doesn't do anything. She's actually rocking back and forth now. That's perfect. That's what I want. We'll move her here. Move him here. Just so I can see them both. Charge hack. Oh, these armies super close. I didn't realize they were that close. I need to have him attack. So he's going to send him back a few turns. We need to reinforce security. And we're going to have him attack again just to send him back. Oh, she's escaping. So we're going to kill her. She dies. We send them back all the way to the back. Now we're just down to the main guy. So he's the most important one, so keeping him alive is important. But now we need to focus on keeping him under control. So he's kind of reset back to normal. Let's actually have him negotiate so they don't move. Basically, when we're down to 1 hostage, we are dealing with a more aggressive army. They're more willing to move further and more often, so we need to keep them under control. Keep charging our hack boost. Let's reinforce the security. And charge our hack boost one more time. Let's negotiate with them again. Make sure they don't move. Keep charging our hack boost. He's getting relaxed. Let's shout at him. We don't need to hurt him or anything. Let's shout. We can't shoot him in the leg anymore. That's just not an option any longer. When you're dealing with only 1, it's way easier, but he's that much more important, and you really have to focus on what he does and how he does it. So let's go ahead and charge the hack boost again. I would like to do it at least 1 or 2 more times before I do it. 82% is pretty damn good. That was 3 turns, so we're going to negotiate again. Make sure they don't move. And I'm going to charge the hack boost and then execute it. So that should bring us into the second bar. Come on, 3, 2, 1, execute. Done. So now we're in the second bar. We have about 3/4 of the second bar before we're confident in doing it. Let's go ahead and charge the hack boost. I am actually going to negotiate because I lost track of how much we've had with them, so let's reinforce security. He's getting a little bit too comfy, so let's shout. Keep him under control. Charge the hack boost. And once again, negotiate. So, again, the thing is, with 1, it's much easier to balance, but it's interesting because of the way that this game plays at the end. Kind of depending on what you do will determine what kind of player the game determines you to be. So the way I'm going right now, last time I played, I actually freed a lot more than I actually ended up killing, and I was determined a soft player. And the statistics that they provide you with at the end are actually really interesting. And there is a new game plus too that after you beat the game you can play, which actually adds a little extra cutscene and some extra secret stuff and extra puzzles and stuff to play through, which I'm excited to play through. Let's go ahead and charge the hack boost and reinforce security. So he's rocking back and forth. That's fine. Let's negotiate. Make sure they're under control. Keep charging the hack boost. Things are actually... If I could beat this again, this will be the second time in a row I was able to beat it after like trying 11 times before I was able to beat it the first time. It's really, really hard. So let's charge the hack boost again. And I'm willing to risk it one more time. Security's at 70%. This guy needs to calm down. And the army's moving. So we have 2 options here. I'm going to reinforce security. And I'm going to negotiate so they don't move. He's freaking out. We need to calm him down. We'll take 2 turns to calm him. And we'll take the 3rd turn to attack and send them back 3 turns. This will happen every once in a while, by the way. Jack will, depending on what you've ended up doing, whether you've murdered people or not, he'll end up freaking out. And this is a % chance, again, that's determined as far as I understand on your actions so far. Because we've actually murdered people and stuff, Jack has decided that he can't attack the soldiers again. He's too panicked. This didn't happen to me last time because I ended up freeing more than I ended up killing. But because I ended up killing too much, Jack is like, I can't shoot anymore, man. You can't shoot anymore. So we have to make a very interesting decision here. And this is going to really affect things. So I can do one of 2 things. I can, with Jack, I can either reprimand him. I don't know what desist does, to be honest with you. I can either reprimand him or apologize. If I reprimand him, I will only have the option to shoot at the soldiers. If I apologize, I will only have the option to negotiate with the soldiers. So, because of how close the soldiers are, I'm actually going to reprimand him and demand he shoot. We need him to be able to shoot them and knock them back a turn. So we're going to go ahead and have him attack. Now we're at an interesting position where we need to calm him down. We need to reinforce security. And we once again need to attack. As you can see, he only can attack. It's a bad spot for us to be in. He needs to calm the F down. We could shoot him in the leg again if we needed to. But that means we would be setting ourselves on a determined path of X number of turns to succeed. And I'm not really willing to do that yet. Send him back another turn. Calm him down. Reinforce security. Send them back a turn. Again, they move much, much further. Charge the hack boost. You need to calm down, dude. You cannot run right now. So things are getting much more difficult because the army is more willing to freaking move now. Calm him down. Can't lose him right now. Send the army back, please. Reinforce security. Dude, I can't have you running right now. I just can't. I can't. You need to calm down, dude. Jack, you better push him back again. Alright, I'm going to risk it. I'm actually going to shoot this guy in the leg and risk the turns. This will take him out of my concern for a number of turns. And we can attack, keep them back, and execute the hack boost. Hopefully this will be enough. We're risking it, but we don't have much time. Alright, we're in. Oh, we did it. That was the perfect decision. So we shot him in the leg at the end to shut him up, just so we could focus on the army and finish the hack boost. Now let's get out of here. You'll never leave this place alive. So they shoot in a flashbang. Boom. And now we kind of have the scene of Shaman escaping with what we needed. This guy right here also getting ready to leave. But Abraham and Jack being captured. Abraham, Jack! Drop your weapon! Liam! Go away, lead the revolution! Don't worry about us, we've been worse. I won't let you die here, I promise. Okay, but now, go! And that's it, and there you go, and they escape. Now, we get to look at our statistics. So, my attitude had been soft. I don't know why it was considered soft. But we were considered soft. We're here, we killed 2 hostages. Most people didn't kill any hostages. Followed by killed 1 hostage, killed 2 hostages, and killed 3. Now, keep in mind, these statistics are basically only comparing me to what little beta testers they may have and whatever press has essentially bothered to play the game so far. So I'm more interested in looking at the stats once the game is released in about 20 days. We freed no hostages. And your favorite demand, guards retreat, which is when we shot at them. 3 tried to escape, and none rebelled. And then we reprimanded Jack, which is what 24.32% of people did. Most people didn't have any conflict with him. And these are the stats. I like this a lot. It's kind of cool to see what the decisions people made are. It shows that there are multiple ways to get through each level. So next chapter, which I am going to hopefully skip through so you don't know what's going on. I don't want to ruin anything for you guys. This is, again, another one of those story-focused games which we've been getting a lot of lately. But I want to show you the kinds of things that end up happening and the kind of different scenarios that they're willing to put you in. I'd love to skip this. I don't want to read this. I'm going to skip through all this so you don't know what's going on here. Here we are. So this is the next puzzle, the next scenario. These are the 2 people who got captured, the 2 people from before. They are now in a torture room, and the next part of the game is surviving torture. So basically, he asks you questions, and you can click on either one because you can play as either one of them, and decide what you want to do. You can provoke them, basically say, come on, hit me. Beg them not to hurt you, which has its own consequences. Lie to them, and depending on what you've done before, it'll have a higher chance of them believing you or not. Or just straight up confess the information that you need. The cool part is, the whole puzzle is you need to survive torture for 20 days without dying. And you need to make sure that you don't give away information that would give out your true, like, what your characters are doing and where the people you work for are. And I'm remaining vague because things are not exactly as they seem. And if you go too far one way or another, you'll end up dying, which will, of course, completely change how things work. And this particular puzzle is really tough to get through. Not only both just it's difficult, but it's difficult to watch. It's surprising how much detail and emotion they can kind of get through the pixelated art, which is what I was talking about, how it may just be a pixelated art style, but the kind of emotions, the kind of messages they can get through these sprites is pretty fantastic. This guy in particular, I mean, there's not a lot of detail in him, but the way he talks, what he does, the way he walks around and seems so nonchalant, really kind of portrays him as a gigantic douchebag. And then this guy here, he's his own interesting kind of character. And it's a really, really interesting scenario to put yourself in. I'm not going to show you anymore because showing you more would spoil it. Maybe when the game is officially out, I'll do a playthrough of it with you guys playing alongside me, kind of like I did with Always Sometimes Monsters. But it's well worth, in my opinion, if you're if you're interested in these types of point-and-click adventure games and want a very unique spin on it, that introduces some cool puzzles, that gets rid of that inventory management and more focuses on the personal decisions of each character within the game, this game is a no-brainer. You can go pre-order it now if you want. I'm loving it. I don't really enjoy saying go pre-order games because I think pre-ordering is stupid. But when the game comes out, hopefully they'll have a sale on it. Will be $10 or your regional equivalent. It will be on Steam. This is just another game that, in my opinion, through Devolver Digital, by the way, which they've just been on such a good streak lately, is highly recommended through me. I really think this is a game that people are going to enjoy, and enjoy just watching everything unfold depending on your actions. So check it out. Gods will be watching. This has been your Judge Mathas for the day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.